Okay, I'm going to run through a little foot, ankle, toe mobility and strength sequence that we can do on the floor. And we're going to go through some rock backs. I have my board here. Double and single leg where we're rocking back and forward. We're going to do that in ankle plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. We'll get a stretch through the toes. We're going to do some eversion and inversion work for your ankles. We're going to do some half kneeling work where we're rocking forward and back. And then we're going to go into some kind of strength work for our foot and our hips where we're kind of balancing and stepping in different positions. I'm just going to do a few reps of each. You can do as much or as little as you need. We're going to start 2 knees, 2 hands, toes are pointed, not tucked under, toes are pointed down, and we're just going to rock back on our heels, do as little range as you need, and we're just going to rock in and out. One thing that I like to do here is make sure that our toes, our big toes are like pointed towards each other and our heels are pointed away as we rock back, rather than the opposite, which is heels towards each other and toes away. This is not so nice. You're getting a little extra money shot there. But when you have the heels towards each other and the toes away, you're actually going into a lot of tibial external rotation, which is not particularly nice for a lot of people's knees. So even feel that. It won't feel nice for your knees or your ankles. So we want knee bending activities, for the most part, to be coupled with tibial internal rotation. So toes together, big toes together, heels apart, just gently rock back. And this is very good stuff for your knees as well. From there, you're going to tuck your toes under. Same thing. We're still looking for the heels to kind of almost go away from each other ever so slightly, but don't do it so much that you end up not getting this stretch on the big toe. You still want to actually come back into the big toe. So a couple of reps there, sitting back, rocking in and out nice and gentle. From there, we're going to go on a single leg. So I'm going to use my right leg here. I'm going to untuck the toes again, and I'm just going to rock in and out for a few reps. Then I'm going to tuck the toes under again, and I'm going to rock in and out for a few reps. As I come back, I'm actually trying to push from my toes to push me back out of there. So I'm getting my stretch, and then I'm going to push. I'm getting my stretch, and then I'm going to push. Again, here you might get some kind of nice kind of stretch through the hip. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Switch legs. Lengthen out this right leg. Toes are untucked on the left side. You're going to rock in and push out. Rock in, push out. Rock in, push out. Tuck the toes under. Rock in, push through the toes to push you out. Rock in, push through the toes to push you out. Rock in, push through the toes to push you out. From there, we're going to come up into a half kneeling position. So you're going to have your right foot up in front, and we're going to actually switch. We're going to be involving both feet here. So I'm going to come up, and I'm going to rock my shin forward, or my knee forward on this right foot. So I'm going to rock my knee forward. I'm going to rock my knee back, and then I'm going to sit down on my left foot here. I'll show you that view in a sec. So now I'm going from a negative shin angle where my knee is a long way behind my right ankle. I'm going to push up, rock my knee forward, back, sit down on this left heel. One more, rock my knee forward and back, sit down on this left heel. When I show you from the other side, you'll see me sitting on this right heel now. This left foot is up in front. I'm going to have to start with my knee behind my ankle. This is a more supinated foot shape from here. And then as I start to drop my knee forward and come up tall, I'm going to let my knee come forward and I'm going to get into a more pronated foot shape. So this kind of just happens. I don't want you to force that to happen. I'm just looking for you to get the knee to come forward, keep your heel down and back, and then sit down on your heel. This is my kind of dodgy or Achilles side, so this is slightly less comfortable for me to sit on this heel. I can still do it, but I'm just a little bit more apprehensive, I can feel, to like put all of my weight there. So that's why I'm putting my right hand down. I'm going to rock forward and back. If you can't get all the way into this position, just use your hands as much as you need. And one more, forward and back. And if I show you the kind of opposite where I'm sitting on my left heel, like I feel like I could sit there for the day, no problem at all. So this whole just kind of right side, which after I tore my Achilles, it's good, like range is good and all that stuff, but it's just a little bit, I don't know, not quite as good as the other side, let's say. From there, we're just going to do some half kneeling work where we actually do a little bit of tibial rotation. So I'm going to gently cup the tibia somewhere. You can play around with the position on my right foot, and I'm going to bring my knee forward and I'm going to internally rotate my tibia. So I'm just twisting on my right foot, I'm just twisting my tibia in the way a little bit, and then as I come out, I'm twisting it out into external rotation a little bit. So twist in, twist out, twist in, twist out. What that's going to help us do is get a little bit more pronation and supination at the foot. So if you look at the left foot here, sitting back here again is not as comfortable. I actually don't want us to sit fully back there, so I'm going to drive my knee forward and rotate the tibia in, pull my knee back, rotate the tibia out, and you'll see that I can make a much bigger foot shape here now. And I'm not going crazy with my hands, I'm just being nice and gentle there with the hands. And one more of those, and back out. Now we can play around with toe movement as we bring our knee forward and back. So I'm actually going to do this manually. So I'm going to pull my big toe up to a kind of a semi-comfortable position, and I'm just going to bring my knee in and out a couple of times with the big toe pulled up. Then I'm going to pull up the rest of the toes, keep my big toe down, knee in and out 2 or 3 times. Then I'm going to pull up all the toes, so I'm actually really wedging my hand in underneath there, and I'm going to come in and out a couple of times. And this will kind of push me further back on the foot, give me a more supinated foot, and force me to hopefully move my rear foot a little bit more in kind of dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, rather than just kind of dumping into more pronation and supination or eversion and inversion. We'll switch sides. Big toe up for 3 reps. 4 toes up, big toe down for 3 reps. All the toes up, and I'm putting my fingers in under the metatarsal heads. 3 reps. Awesome. From there, a little bit of kind of strength and balance type of work. So we're going to put 2 feet in underneath us. Knees are bent, sitting on our heels. And you're just going to try your best to get your knees to go to the floor, and then try and pull them up off the floor. And we're kind of sitting back on our heels again. Not quite, I have a bit of space here. If you have a larger booty, maybe this will touch. Okay, and one more, in and out. From there, we're going to try a couple of calf raises, so up and downs. If you need to use your hands for any of these, feel free. And then from there, we're going to go into a single leg balance. So I'm going to sit on my left heel, my left knee is forward, my right foot is in front, and I'm just going to try and take my right foot off the floor and balance on my left foot here. Again, if you need to kind of hold your hands on the front here or on the sides and play piano with your right foot, but I think I'm relatively not too bad at taking this right foot off the floor. So I'm getting kind of hip flexors and abs working, and I'm sitting on this left side. We can switch sides, I'll show you from the front. So I'm sitting on my right heel, my toes are under, and I'm just going to try and play piano somewhere, either with my hands or my big toe on my left foot, and then hopefully I can take off this left foot, maybe point that toe. You'll hear my breath change as soon as I have to do that, because I actually have to brace a little bit more through the core. So when you're telling people to brace all the time, don't be surprised when their breathing gets restricted as well and they start to get tight, very, very tight. Last one is like a kind of a rocking from one to the other. So we will put our left foot in front, and I'm sitting on my right heel, and what I'm actually going to do is drop my left knee forward like we were doing before, but I'm letting my left heel come off the floor, and I'm leaving my right foot behind. So I'm going to come into this left foot, drop the knee forward, let the heel come off the floor, and I'm actually going to try and lift this whole right leg off the floor. This is called a peeing dog, and it's very crampy for the outside of my hip here. So here again, drop my knee forward, let this heel come off the floor, lift this right leg up completely, and try and hold for a couple of seconds. Not very nice for me. When I switch sides, maybe I'll show you from this side. So sitting on my left heel, drop my right knee forward, and then I'm trying to lift this whole left leg off the floor so that I have to commit all my weight on it fully forward onto this right side. Use your hands if you need, try and get rid of the hands if you can, and you'll get a lot of work being done on the outside of the hip while the other foot is working as well. So that's a simple little sequence. You can run through some of those or all of those together. Shouldn't take too long. Don't be too aggressive because a lot of this is passive. We're kind of putting our weight on top of our ankles and our feet in different ways. So if you're quite restricted through the joint, make the range smaller, much smaller, rather than trying to be too aggressive and putting all your weight on it. I'm more of a fan of smoothing out the end ranges, but to be honest, if you're lacking your foot and ankle mobility and you don't sit down ever on your heels, you don't ever be in positions like this, it's not a surprise and it's actually not that hard to get it back. So give it a try, let me know what you think.